What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Downbeat podcast. My very special guest this week is the Royal George Lesage Clarke IV. He is not a king. That is his real name. We will get into why. He is the vocalist and lyricist of the band Deafheaven, one of my favourite heavy bands of all time. But you know what? 50% of their music is light, and we talk about everything to do with the band. I had previously had Dan from Deafheaven, the drummer, on, and we really deep dived on the album Sunbather. This is more of a deep dive on the new album Lonely People with Power. We go into the artwork, we go into the themes, but also I have been listening to Deafheaven for well over 10 years, and I've been obsessed with this man's lyrics. They are poetic and they are quite ambiguous. So I had a bunch of lines that I wanted closure on. What did they mean? Did my little emo brain interpret them in the right way? So I put all those questions to George. Unbelievable band. The new album, Lonely People with Power, is definitely in my top 5 of the year, maybe number 1 of the year. Before we get started, I want to let you know we have a Patreon, patreon.com/the Downbeat. On it, you can get early access to episodes. You can get episodes ad-free. You can get early access to merch, early access to... Early? I sounded crazy there. Keep it in. You can get early access to vinyl if I do one of those. Whatever I do, basically, you get it early. It pays for this room. It pays for Simon the editor. It pays for Madison the producer. It is basically the only thing keeping this loosely tied together ship afloat. If you want to support us, we thank you very, very much. Patreon.com/the Downbeat. Honestly, please do it. I need it. If you do not want to support me and you quite honestly despise me, but you have recently washed all of your clothes in a volcano fully with lava, one Tide Pod lava, it's all melted, you got nothing. In fact, all you got is shoes and underwear. Well, guess what? I got everything else you need at www.thedownbeat.at. So it spells Downbeat. I got socks, ? They might not be in stock by then. I got pants. I got t-shirts. I got hoodies. I got hats, right? And it's all good. It's not just like a little logo, rubbish little slogan thing. It's good stuff. High quality stuff, guys. I don't have to say any more. www.thedownbeat.at. So it spells Downbeat. Please check it out. As ever, this episode is brought to you by the lovely people at Neural DSP. Let's set the scene. You got a piece of wood, right? And it's got a longer piece of wood on it. And then you've got these things, like string-like things, right? Made out of metal. And you've put them all on there. And then you've tuned them up to some sort of tuning. And then you've gone ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. And it sounds bad, right? And that is because you don't have a Neural DSP plugin. I've just described making a guitar from scratch. I'm not a luthier, right? Some of that would have been wrong. Most of it would have been wrong. But what is right is how good the tones you can get for your guitar. Are you still with me? For your guitar at neuraldsp.com. They have a Gojira plugin. They have a Tim Henson plugin. They have a Tosin Abasi plugin. That's like the 3 big ones, isn't it? They've got a Pliny one. They have a Dark Glass one. If you play the bass, you know, I'm one step removed from a bassist. All of the scorching red hottest producers and guitarists in the world are using Neural DSP's plugins. So what you want to do is go on down to neuraldsp.com and use the code DOWNBEAT where you can get 30% off. Yes, that's right, 30% off. Neuraldsp.com, the Downbeat. It's George Lesage Clarke IV of Deafheaven on the Downbeat podcast. 2 in the bag. That's that. We're in.
Beautiful.
George Clarke.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Downbeat.
Great to be here.
What's Lesage?
It's my middle name.
Is it?
Yeah. George Lesage Clarke IV.
No fucking way.
Yeah, God help me.
A name as poetic as your lyrics.
I do what I can, you know. Indebted to my father, who I think my mom was like, you know, we got to break the curse here and name him something else, but he wouldn't allow it.
Really?
I think...
The fourth. What's the deal with when it's the fourth? Like, that's not on the birth certificate?
It is. Very much so, yeah.
The fourth, or like Roman numeral.
Just IV, yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Now I think like, okay, well, if I have one just for the goof, it should be the 5th.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Regardless of gender. Yeah. You could have a girl named George.
Georgina.
Yeah. That's kind of cute.
Georgina.
Such a cute girl's name.
Yeah.
Georgie.
Georgie.
You see? Okay.
Georgie the 5th.
Okay, it's locked in. I was at this point, probably years ago, I was talking to someone who asked the same thing. They're like, what's Lesage? And I was like, yeah, it's my middle name. And they're like, oh, I thought it was your stage name.
That's what I thought.
And I was like, I'm actually kind of mortified by the idea of having a stage name, especially the Sage.
Yeah,
it's very
it's
mystical.
So sick. Yeah, I just assumed mystical man, but it's a real name, and not only is it a real name, it's the fourth.
Yeah.
Do all three incarnations all three plus you have Lesage as well? The full.
It's full. Yeah.
You can't stop that.
Yeah.
Now.
Carrie used to have a joke too, because it's all sixes. It's 6 letters each. He had this big theory that there's a devilish presence here. When we were kids. Yeah, because I was really into like Faces of Death and stuff.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I just watched one earlier today.
Yeah. My uncle, when we would go. My family's from Louisiana, Mississippi. We'd be in Mississippi, and there was like this really small video store that had like a special interest section, and they sold all of them.
Yeah.
And so we would rent a couple movies, and then he'd be like, "Let's get a Face of Death." And when everyone goes to sleep, we'll watch it.
It's terrible uncle activities.
Awesome.
Madison, do you know what Faces of Death is?
I don't.
It is a old VHS of actual murders.
Yeah.
That you
period.
could just rent.
You can just rent.
Period.
It's just real death. Or they would have they'd have the occasional like mishap where it would be an interview with a guy that say tried to shoot himself with a shotgun, but he messed up and he was just like horrifically disfigured.
A blooper.
Yeah, a blooper.
A blooper.
Yeah, and they would have a nice little like grainy interview with him like sitting by a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
It's great.
that's what we grew up. How old are you?
36.
Yeah, I'm 30. Yeah. That's what we grew up with.
Yeah.
And then we had rotten.com.
Yes, we did. And we had Ogreish and Rotten. And I don't know if maybe this was like just a States thing, but we had Crime News 2000.
No, what's that?
It was just like basically a GeoCities website. It was like white with just blue links of crime news, daily crime news that was happening around the country. It was like an aggregate, and they would compile local stories. And so you'd be like, oh, like Louisville, and you like click it and it'd be like, man murders family kind of thing. My mom was like obsessed with it for, my whole family, and they have like a death obsession, I think a little bit. So I got into it. And so, if you want to do some light reading, it'd be Crime News. And then if you wanted to see the real thing, you'd go over to Rotten.
Rotten, the Faces of Death. Rotten. Some of the Rotten stuff it's probably maybe the 10th time I've mentioned it on the podcast. Like just burned into my brain. Mind the Gap. Remember that one?
That's the guy that's bisected by a train.
Yeah, well, caught in between I think that one's head gets caught between the train and the platform.
Oh, nice.
And it's nice.
Beautiful.
It's like fucking like a 90-degree angle into the face, and then just a stream of blood because he's been dragged along.
Lord.
I know, but lovely day for it. Another one on the net today. We can't fucking talk about that.
No, we won't, we won't. But all this does remind me of the Bud Dwyer video.
The what?
It was like I'm gonna get this wrong probably, but I think like an American politician, or maybe he was a newscaster, or he was scandalized by something, and they were giving a press conference, and it's on a Faces of Death, and he takes a gun out of a paper bag and he blows him, shoots himself, and there's like. Sorry to go into this. There's like a river of blood.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're like a Capri Sun. You know what I mean? Like all this inside us, it's very pressurized.
It's very pressurized. It's just,
gravity and such.
Just fucking.
Yeah, but I remember being like, probably younger than 10, and just like fixated.
We'll leave the rotten.com in a second because I think I've only spoke about this on the podcast once. So apologies if anyone's heard it before. So when I was in my rotten.com Ogreish sort of era of my life, which I think shaped me for the better because I saw some horrible shit and I was like, God, I don't want horrible shit to happen.
And by the time like beheading videos and stuff came out, I remember being like,
I did a couple.
We're fine.
I did a couple in dips. I was like, nah, this is a bit too much. There was a time when I found it for the first time, I was like morbidly curious. And I was like, there's no way this is real. It can't be real. And there was a video of someone getting shot in the face. And it was like point blank range. And I was like, there's no way this is real. And I like skimmed through it and like, on like Winamp or whatever I was using to watch the video, whatever was embedded thing was in my browser. And the frame where the bullet hits the skull like wasn't there. So it was just like shoots the gun, next frame is like head exploded. So I didn't know about frame rates or anything like that. So I was like, oh, this is fake. This must be fake. Mum, come and see this video. I called my fucking mummy to the room, watched the video. She's like shocked. And then I'm like, no, it's fake. Panning through, clicking through the frames, found the frame. Found the frame where the bullet enters the skull.
And what is she, when she's just like, this is, what are you doing?
Banned from the internet for like, I want to say 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. I'm sure there was conversations I don't know about where it was just like, do we have a murderer on our hands or whatever? Because they didn't have that.
No, I know. No, of course not. And like,
it was all drawn.
They had comics.
Not the same as a real snuff video.
No. And it is terrible. I remember thinking, even as a kid,
terrible.
like, oh, what if like, like someone I loved ended up here, it's terrible. Yeah. But whatever. It's part of culture, it's what shaped us.
It is what shaped us. And you make very bleak music. Very bleak lyrics.
Yeah, I've carried it on.
And they don't really scream rotten.com.
They're not. No. But, I early years, came from the Chris Barnes school of metal lyricism. So there's always a piece there.
Did you have a band before Deafheaven?
I did, yeah. I mean, like as you do kind of growing up.
With Chris Barnes' Cannibal Corpse lyrics?
No. I never wrote gore myself, but like obviously I loved it. It's so like shocking. And when I was 13, 14, 15, metalcore, like where I grew up, which was I guess you could call a suburb, but basically just like a small town in Central California, a few of them. Metalcore really reached those areas in a way that other types of metal just didn't seem to, And I think pop probably largely because of the imagery and stuff. It was also like the aggressive music that like girls were into and
metalcore, not like death metal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like even though I had at that point been listening to death metal and a little bit of black metal as well, the bands that I was in were metalcore. I was in a couple metalcore bands and I was like 15, 16, and then when I was 18, 19, I was in sort of a little bit like Converge, but a little grindier maybe, like we were really into like Rotten Sound and Phobia and stuff like that.
Rotten.com Sound.
Yes, exactly.
Rotten Sound. What a band. You don't hear anyone talking about them these days.
It's a shame.
Murder Works.
It's a shame. And Carrie and I were kind of like, that's where we started. And that project started to make kind of Deafheaven music. And then when we moved to San Francisco, we started Deafheaven, and then Deafheaven just on its own kind of became a thing that we toured and stuff. But prior to that, it was just playing like taquerias and info shops and things like that,
with no gore lyrics.
No gore lyrics.
Always been a poet. I have so basically we're gonna do a deep dive.
Please,
on your lyrics. But you
cool.
need to tell me, is it all you
that writes them?
Yeah,
of course.
Fuck, because I'm fucked otherwise. So I got no questions for you.
Great.
If that's not the case.
No. Fortunately, unfortunately, it is me. It's my main contribution to the band. Yeah, I've always kind of been into, that type of thing.
I'm going to gas you up for a minute for anyone that doesn't know.
Okay. I'm ready.
So, and I think I told you this, I saw you at a festival recently. Like, you're in my top 3 heavy lyricists of all time.
Wow, really appreciate that.
And you've already mentioned one of the other guys that's in my top 3, which is Jacob Bannon from Converge. Similar style, but different, both.
Yeah.
Very very poetic.
Yeah, very inspiring for sure.
He's like crazy. And then I put Chino in there. I like a bit sexy. But like that's my top 3.
That's great, man. That's a very good company. I appreciate that.
And
Thank you.
I have been a massive fan of your band since, I won't say since Rose to Judah, because it was Sunbather that was like, Sunbather came out and I love black metal my whole life.
Yeah.
Loved shoegaze separately. Loved Wolves in the Throne Room, which was the closest thing at that sort of point in my area where it's like, wait, it's black metal, but there's nice bits.
Yeah.
And then someone showed me that, and I was just like, every time you guys have released an album of the year for me.
Wow, thank you.
This is album of the year.
Wow.
Infinite Granite was album of the year.
Really? Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Are you surprised because it's the not a heavy one?
It's just it's I guess of all of our catalog, it's the controversial one. But yeah,
loved it. I absolutely loved it, and
Thank you.
I think I said at the time, I was like, I don't care if this is what they do moving forward. I don't need to miss the other stuff because it's still there and whatever. And then you come out with just an absolute banger, which I think's better than Sunbather.
It's my personal favorite. Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
So I have, a long-standing history with enjoying your band, but your lyrics are so poetic and quite broad in how they can be interpreted. I've got quite a long list of things that I'd like to dig into.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you might notice the light wasn't on. Madison, the producer, has found out 9 minutes in that the light's not on. So thanks very much. The light's back on. Let's carry on with the show. We've
got a really healthy glow now.
We did, yeah. You like it?
Yeah, I'm feeling invigorated. I'm back to life.
It's fine because for the algorithm, people will have left comments by now about the light, and that's going to boost it.
That's going to boost.
How I work in engagement.
I like this.
Anyway, I have quite an extensive list of, even down to certain lines that I'd love to know. What was going on in your head.
Yeah, cool.
And I do have like a broader conversation to talk about.
Yeah.
But let's start with, before I go into that, because it might bore everyone that isn't me, and I don't care because it's my show. You came straight from band practice.
I did, yeah. So we're in Nashville. We are starting a tour tomorrow in Chattanooga. We are doing kind of, I guess what they call secondary cities or something.
Yeah, B market,
but it feels denigrating a little bit. It feels a little. I don't want to call these places B's. You know, they are places that we go to, every 4 or 5 years or something, and bring our message to the people. Yeah. And we're taking out Harm's Way and I Promise the World, which I'm excited about. And I don't know the Harm's Way guys, but everyone, like 100% of people I've inquired, to about them have been like, best guys.
I know Bo, and I love him.
Cool.
And I love that band.
Great.
I love the way that lineup as well kind of just sums you guys up. By the time it comes to you, it's like, there's a bit of niceness. And then you got Harm's Way, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
And then you've got you.
Yeah. And I do like stacking bills that way, where it's kind of like every artist, if we are headlining, sort of has a piece of what we do in their own way.
Yeah.
That we can, kind of share with them.
That I Promise the World band is like, they're like new, aren't they? But they sound super like this is 2001.
We got put on to them, and I was like, I'm gonna check this out, and like it's like eyeball records.
Yeah,
it's wild.
I checked it out, and I was like, let me just check when this was released.
Yeah,
like, 2024.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, there's all this, if you're in the game long enough, you see how things kind of come back to being in vogue, and how newer artists put their touch on older styles, and we're just of age now to where we can kind of have experienced both.
Yeah,
both the original quote and what's happening currently. I think you see that like kind of across genres. And for me, it's kind of like comforting. I don't know. I think it's really cool to see not only these bands, these newer bands excel, but by proxy, the older bands get a little bit of shine, you know?
But I mean, do you want to talk about Acid Bath?
I mean, that's a huge one. No, honestly, that's a huge one.
It's the craziest thing.
They did 2 nights at the Palladium, and I remember thinking initially before tickets had gone on sale, being like, wow, like,
what?
I'm surprised. Like, is there really a demand for this? It blew out.
Yeah.
In like maybe like less than a day.
7,000 tickets.
It's insane. Yeah.
For a band that at the time was like, people liked them. But,
yeah, sure.
But
no, it's great.
And then disappeared.
Yeah. And you were, I mean, you just mentioned Deftones. I mean, I think that's probably the biggest example for a band who has played a really fantastic long game and who has been consistent and who has just like through their own efforts of making good music and touring consistently and whatever else have really gained the attention of so many people, and they're easily the biggest they've ever been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
For me and for us as a band who I think is in it for the long haul, it is very inspiring to see. It's cool. You know?
I think with Deftones, they're like, particularly in the UK, I always felt a little bit sorry for them, where it would be like always the bridesmaid, never the bride, because they'd never headline like Download or any of the like the big festivals. They were always just main support, and then they just kept going, and they're just the biggest band in the world. TikTok's got a lot to say for both of those bands.
Sure, yeah. And I think that's right. That's how it should be. I mean, if you're gonna have this new exciting social platform, why not have it show you things that have deserved the light for, you know, as long as they've existed?
It's funny because it's like the music being played on TikToks is relatively new in terms of like memes. The musical element of memes is only like maybe 5 years old. There was memes before that.
Sure.
But it proves like whatever that song can like inspire in the person that's viewing it, if that catches on and goes viral, it's like that song made its point, even though it's like, if it's 20 years later, like a song can go viral for the emotion it was supposed to invoke 20 years later on a brand new platform.
It transcends.
Kind of sick.
Yeah.
And then you sell out the Palladium.
Yeah. Or the Forum.
Yeah.
You know, or Deftones did 2 nights of the Forum.
But what doesn't happen, guys, is when you write a song because you think it will go viral on TikTok, just don't do that.
It's too hard of a moving target. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm sure there's people who probably do have TikTok hits that were like, yeah, we knew this was gonna go. But I mean, just that approach to songwriting is so funny. I can't imagine.
I can't stand it.
Yeah.
And you have to release the song yesterday because the thing's already viral. By the time you go to the studio and you record it, let's jump on this trend. Trend's gone.
Yeah. No, you're chasing something.
Yeah.
No, and I think just to your earlier point, I think that's when you have something that is honest and has a real genuine emotional weight that will transcend, not just through mediums, but through generations. You know, it's cool.
Speaking of the like stacking the lineups thing, how was that Knock Loose tour?
Awesome.
Because it was, I think, Headbusser, you guys, Knock Loose.
Yes. And Headbusser and us shared a bus. And I love those guys to death.
I don't know. Band's cool, though.
Great band. And the sweetest guys. And really smart and very funny. And I can't say enough good things about them. And of course, same with Knock Loose. Knock Loose, doing that tour and subsequently becoming friends with them has like broadened my horizon in a way that I haven't had in a long time. You know, like we were very kind of fixed in our scene, a scene that I love and you know have a lot of good friends in and et cetera. But I just didn't really know. You know what I mean? And I like the band, but until we went on that tour, I was like, wow, there's like a whole world out here. Yeah. And I felt very privileged to be touring with people that I consider to be at the forefront of that world.
Yeah.
And so that tour was great. But even with them, I was talking with Brian and Isaac, and they're like, you know, we had no idea what it would be like for you and Headbussa to share a bus, because you probably musically in the larger aggressive world couldn't find things more opposite, you know. But awesome, you know. And since then, as we have kind of started to play with these heavier bands and bands outside of bands that we like historically would tour with, I found that like we get along with all these guys. I mean, we did a couple shows in the UK with Pain of Truth. Yeah. And I love
those guys as well.
And at the end of it, we were like, we should do this more. And it's the same thing as Headbuss. So like, I think on paper, people might be like, that's a really strange combination. But no, it's awesome.
But I think to bring it back to the TikTok thing, which we even can with Knock Loose, because, you know, they were already big and then they popped off on TikTok.
Huge
Same
moment.
thing. Mm-hmm. But like kids being into so many different songs because of them being on TikTok. Like you might listen, like Aphex Twin is having another like revival.
Really?
Because there's people that post the sad videos and it's always something from Ambient Works.
But yeah, of course.
So you've got all these kids that are like accidentally consuming all of these wide genres that I hope it's going to end up that bills like that are like the norm, because I would love that. I don't want to see 5 metal bands.
Neither do I.
I want to see 2.5.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. And in the same way that records have sequences where typically like really great records aren't kind of bludgeoning you the whole time. They're not one note. You know, they ebb and they flow, and you get a lot of different sides to the artist that you're listening to. I like shows to be that way.
Yeah.
I think that like when headliner bands curate their show really well, it gives the audience an experience that is like you said, like wide.
Yeah.
And that's cool. And you know, that's like, you know, TikTok in real life or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and people end up wanting to watch the whole show. Like if I go to a show and this is hypothetical, if I go to a show and it's 5 bands with insane spiky logos, like, and I don't know any of them except the headliner, probably after band 3, I'm going to get a beer.
I'm at the bar.
Right? Yeah, I'm going to get a beer, probably do a pee, like maybe even go out and smoke and then come back. But if I'm watching like an audio movie, then I'm way more likely to stay.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel the exact same way. And again, going back to Knock Loose, credit to them, because I think that we are a band like that. I think that they are definitely a band like that. I think that they always have a really nice, diverse billing. And I think that our band's connected on that idea pretty early on to like knowing each other. Yeah, I just think it's a smart thing that a lot of people do get, which is great.
And you got Europe straight after that, again, with a pretty diverse bill. Portrayal of Guilt.
Yes.
You know those guys? I
do.
imagine you know those guys.
We actually, we took them out in Europe. We did a co-headline with Touche Amore, and God, what was this? In 19, maybe? Yeah, I think 19. One of the best tours I've ever done. I mean, we've been friends with those guys for a really long time, and I love them to death. Nick, their guitar player, and I have a very close relationship. He does all the art. He's kind of like the Deafheaven art director. He's like our 6th member. In any case, we
know that.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, he did the Sunbather cover.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Cool.
And we worked together on everything. Portrayal opened that tour. Loved that band, and then we were a couple years ago playing in Birmingham, and they were playing the same night. And after our show, we went over to theirs to catch their set, and they were always good. But something happened, you know, just years of playing, I suppose. Phenomenal.
We did a small tour with them, I'm pretty sure. And I was blown away. Or we did like maybe like a weekend.
Yeah.
James
is, I love this guy. Phenomenal drummer. He actually has been getting into like posting videos.
Yeah, and he's so good.
He's
and
so good.
They're popping off. And
They're doing great.
to bring it back to the middle names thing, when I met James, James's surname is Beveridge, right? And he's never met another Beveridge in his life because it's a Scottish surname. My middle name is Beveridge,
Really?
spelt the same. Really? So we like bonded over that.
That's great.
He was like, "Oh, James, blah blah blah." I think we followed each other, and I was like, "Wait a fucking minute, your
Yeah.
name's Beveridge?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, it's Scottish." And I was like, "Brother, I know. That's my middle name. I'm the first though. Craig Beveridge Reynolds, the first of his kind."
You know, there's always time for that junior, you know, for that second.
Madison. She is my girlfriend, guys.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so
Cancelled.
we're all clear here.
Cancelled twice in a week. Jesus.
Jeez,
Right.
what's going on?
Let me go to my fucking notes. Oh my God, I've got so many notes. Do we need to... I've never got notes, by the way. I'm going to sweat you.
Great.
Let's go straight into the lyric thing.
Sure.
I don't know how I'm going to compartmentalize all of this into like what's supposed to be my job. So it's
Okay.
entertaining.
Yeah, I'll try not to be super dry.
No, it's me. I have too much that I want to ask, and I have to make it entertaining for everyone else, and like have some sort of scope to it. So I'll be as wide as possible with the first question. Where'd you get your inspiration for lyrics?
God, it changes a lot, I guess. I do a fair amount of reading.
I see this on your Instagram.
It's like the only thing I post.
Yeah.
I'm just like, here's a book. I really don't know what to do with Instagram anymore. I used to be great at it.
You got the name, you got the books on the Instagram. You are the
I'm
fourth.
doing all right.
You are the fourth.
I'm doing all right. I felt like I used to be a lot more fun. But in any case, yeah, there's certain poets I really love. Dulce Maria Loinez is like one of my favorite poets. I like a lot of sort of like imagist writing. I like things that, kind of paint a picture. And sometimes it's surreal and sometimes it's very barren. And I find both appealing. I think that really simple writing is very appealing. Really verbose writing can be very appealing. What they call like purple, which is like just like kind of overwrought. And
I don't know that. So come on.
It's like
You love a color as well, don't you?
I do love colors. I love colors. Yeah, and that's the thing is I have found over time, especially with lyrics, I do tend to kind of like repeat certain images or themes.
Oh, I know.
Colors is a big one. Flowers is a big one.
Oh, I got questions.
And,
I got questions. Don't spoil it. Trees.
Sure, lots of trees.
Trees,
which is funny.
dogs.
But a lot of that is like it just shows to me. It's really funny because sometimes I'll see like a fan theory about how like the last song is trees, right?
I've got that written down here.
And I'm gonna totally disappoint you because like it just is what it is. What it really shows me is that I need to be more creative.
No, pretend you have a theory.
I'll conjure up a theory.
You should have done it before this.
Yeah, the thing about the tree is.
Yeah, I was hoping I was getting that. I'm fucked now.
But there's different. Each has their own thing. So I suppose that when events happen or when I'm kind of in an emotional state, one thing that I do tend to notice in my surrounding are trees, and I think maybe stick to them for a comfort image or something. Well, we'll get into that. Tunnel of trees is when you're driving on a road that has a lot of trees on both sides, and they kind of create a canopy over it. And I was driving on the Central Coast, and it was a kind of a gray, sort of marine layered type of day, and I think that always kind of makes you feel a certain way, and that's what I was driving under, and so I was like, oh, tunnel of trees, like it's just evocative. Pecan tree is written directly about my grandmother, who is talked about both on Sunbather and on Lonely People with Power, who had a really large pecan tree in her backyard that she harvested every year and made pies from, and and it was just a thing that we did when we visited. And so like I've always kind of held it in a certain reverence.
Is the line in, see, I would say pecan tree, but I'm going to say pecan, just in case it becomes a clip and everyone goes, he said pecan funny. The line about, look, watch me do this without a note.
Let's do it.
I laid drunk on the concrete on the day of your birth in celebration of all of your worth. Is that about her?
Yeah. It was that song, and then the way that like my writing tends to go, which I've tried to kind of reel in a little bit, but especially at that time, it appears abstract because it's honestly rather scattered, and I have so many different feelings and thoughts that I want to kind of put into one thing. And that song kind of it's talking about family, how I relate to family. It's talking about my grandmother and who's my father's mother, and my dad, and me being a drunk, and how there were a lot of times when I was younger, before I quit drinking, that I was very aware of the problem that I had with it, because I would react to certain ideas with it really negatively. Case in point, like there were often times where I would get bad news, or I would realize that there was an important date, and I'm like hammered, and I would be like, God, like I'm getting this kind of poignant life thing is happening, and I'm all fucked up when it's happening. And so
you're not getting fucked up as a result of it happening. It's happening, and you happen to be fucked up
so often that anytime I get, when she died, I was drunk. When my uncle died, I was drunk. There was all these kind of things, and alcoholism and stuff runs very deep in my family. And so at those points, there would be like this immediate self-examination. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm just like them, and what am I doing? And this kind of thing. So anyway, so that line and lines like that come from that feeling where there is this sort of self-loathing and frankly a directionless self-loathing, which is why a lot of the lyrics kind of come off as, like I said, quote, abstract, but like they're really actually just like the scattered thoughts of someone that doesn't know how to interpret very clearly what it is that they're feeling, because they're feeling so many things at the same time.
But a very well-read person.
I appreciate it.
And I don't think I would connect with your band so much if they weren't so scattered and vague, because we'll come on to it later. You have one song in particular, right, which at a point in my life, I was like, this song is about me.
Yeah.
And it's obviously not, but it's later on in the podcast, I want to tell you what was happening to me at that time.
I'm very
curious.
I
want you to tell me what you would think,
what the actual
thing is. And ruin the song
for you. Yeah, exactly. I think that was kind of like the really positive outcome to this sort of scatteredness was that there should be at times enough open-endedness in lyricism that you do find your own meaning into it. Like I like storytelling lyricists who are very much giving you like their perspective of a certain event. There's no ambiguity.
Chris Barnes.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, this person's being strangled and tortured. That's great.
Sorry, I couldn't not make the joke.
No. But that is true. I mean, like say like Leonard Cohen. Often he's telling I'm a beautiful lyricist, and one of my favorites. And he's often telling a very kind of direct thing. There's no like real interpretation there. Or like Chris Christopherson's the same way. Like a lot of kind of country and folk and stuff is very direct. And I like that stuff a lot, but I think that it has benefited our band to have this kind of open-endedness, to have enough space for people to invite themselves in. And I do think that's very important.
It almost matches the music as well. Like it's open-ended music where the emotions can go one way or the other.
Totally. And I think that Carrie and I have always had that kind of psychic connection where often the things that he's writing and the things that I'm writing, they're done separately. And there's not a whole lot of communication, during the process. Obviously, I'm there for much of the riffing and stuff, and the guys jamming, and so like I do have an idea, but from the lyrical end, there's not, and it just kind of works out, And he's always just like, man, like this is perfect for what it is that we're making, yeah.
At what point in the discography do you quit drinking? Because there's no real shift in
the morose tone of everything.
Yeah,
yeah. We quit.
Everyone.
Much of us.
Dan still drinks.
He does, and so does Chris. But Shiv stopped, and then Carrie and I, again separately, quit 5 days apart from each other.
Oh, you are psychic.
And yeah. And I remember he called me and was like, we were both in bad in our own ways, and we hadn't maybe spoken in a week or so, which is very rare. We talk like every day. And he was like, hey, this is what I'm doing, I've been doing it for like a week now and yada yada. And I was like, dude, me too.
That was cool.
Yeah. And I was like, if we can, let's do this together.
Where is this in the discography?
So sorry. This is like in the middle of Ordinary Corrupt.
Okay.
So we were going up to the Bay Area, we're going up to Oakland, and we were having various writing sessions before we began recording. And I want to say literally like the first 2 blocks were parting, and then the last 2 blocks were not. And the lyrics are written in both states.
Okay.
And then by like infinite, I'm sober for like a couple years at that point.
So You Without End on Ordinary Corrupt, sober or drunk? Track 1.
Yeah, no, I
know more about your band than you, because it's kind of happy. It's kind of lovely.
That's hard to say. Oh no, that's not hard to say. I'm sober.
Yeah, it's a lovely song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that record I think we were really kind of doing a lot. We were the thing about Sobriety for us is that it really gave us this creative boost, which we kind of collectively felt like we were lacking on New Bermuda. And so we were like, I like this and this and this and this. So that it like, so You Without End has this almost like Elton John-y kind of like piano.
It's so sick.
And when I hear it back now, I'm like, that's funny.
It's nice though.
It is nice. I mean, look, I stand by it. But like that, and then we did like Night People with Chelsea Wolf, and that's like a totally different track than stuff that we've ever done before. And we were just kind of very excited, I think, again. And so we were like, let's try everything.
I want to touch on a few things you said. One of them's deeper than the other one, so let's go to the one that's fresher in my brain.
Cool.
Did you have difficult second album, even though it wasn't your second album, but difficult second album syndrome with New Bermuda after the success of Sunbather?
I think the only thing in our head at that point was we didn't want to make Sunbather Part 2. And I'm sure there was some stress, but the real thing about that record is in the years that we toured between Sunbather and New Bermuda, we were just getting fucked up. I mean, like the most. Yeah. And having a great time and whatever, I don't regret those years. By the time we had gotten into the writing phase, we hadn't let go of the tour behavior. And honestly, we couldn't. And we had, and this is like when we were getting into like, like hard drugs. And so a lot of it is just kind of phoned in. I mean, I think it was a time in the band that we had other priorities.
I don't think it's bad, by the way. I
No,
love it.
no, and that's funny too. I mean, so I've talked to people all the time like New Bream is my favorite one, which I think is great. And I still every album I listen to, and it puts me in a time and a place, and I like that. And I have I've love for all of it, and especially because it's these guys whom I love as well. But yeah, I can also just confidently say like we weren't at our best,
I wasn't saying that. I just wanted to know because Sunbather was like the biggest thing that year.
Totally. No, but I guess all I'm saying is that was the difficult part of that writing,
right, yeah.
Not necessarily like external pressure. It was totally like the fact that we had like internalized every bad habit that we had kind of developed over the previous years.
Okay. So the next question, and it's if this is too personal or too loaded or not at all, you can. Simon's the editor, by the way. Hi, Simon. You can just cut it. It's going to be like therapy. This is going to sound like a therapist right now. Because I'm going to say one thing. I want your immediate response, and then I'll go into why.
Okay.
How's your relationship with your dad?
It's great.
It's great.
It's fantastic.
Doesn't fucking sound like it.
Yeah. No, I know. And, him and I talk about that. He's like, God, and I'm like, I know. It's more. I mean, so much of our records are just self-reconciliation. It's really about me, and him and I have spent a lot of time together, and I know him very well, and I see a lot of myself in him, and that used to include resentments, and it doesn't anymore. But I do still think that those themes are worth exploring, especially like on the new record, like he's one of like my best friends, and I told him after the record was done.
Just so you know.
Yeah, I was like, like the song Amethyst is a as plain spoken as I'll kind of allow myself to be in our records, is about him and I and this very specific situation that we had gone through together. And when I played him the song and I showed him the lyrics and then I showed him the artwork, which is a visual representation largely of that song, he was like pretty moved by it. And he was like, God, like, I think like any father-son relationship, you go through patches. I think that him and I went through a fairly extreme patch. I think to kind of lay it out there for him was a little startling, but I think he was also like kind of appreciated the fact that like I thought about it so in-depthly.
Is it too private to go into here? It's fine if it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's it kind of I'll talk about it.
I was going to say
because it's not really a negative thing.
Yeah.
And much of the record has to do with people who don't maybe in the moment understand their position. And I think that he's always been someone who wanted to guide me in the correct ways. But, he'd never been a dad before. And so I think he was just kind of like his life lessons and stuff were always just kind of like his own style, which I really genuinely believe like I'm a better person for, but that I still find the need to reflect on anyway. And so I'll talk about the cover, which is we had like some sort of like touch and go like years apart, and when we got back to seeing each other a lot more regularly, he was going through a lot of personal change and a lot of like sort of personal transformation and what have you, and I think that this was times that he was kind of trying to teach me some like lessons of the world. And I was a very young teenager and preteen. He was in this sort of like halfway house situation. I was visiting him. We were driving around one night. One of his good friends, and a very sweet guy named Mike, who was a bad drug addict, would get lost. And he would go into kind of Skid Row type areas, or he would go onto like tracks, like areas where there's a lot of sex work, and alleys and streets and stuff like that, and where he could find women and he could find drugs and things like that. And when he would go missing, we would go find him. And my dad was kind of in a way, and my father's been this way for like a lot of his friends who are in recovery and such, is he's sort of like their keeper. And he really, he's like a, gives you the shirt off his back kind of guy. So when Mike would go missing, we would go out and find him. And these searches would take you into, kind of seedier areas of the city.
How old are you at this point? Sorry.
Like 12.
Yeah.
12, maybe 13. And so we were driving down an alley, a track, and there's various women on the sidewalk, and he pulls over to one, and he's like, like maybe we're just gonna ask anyone if they have if they've seen a guy that's like this or whatever. But I'm like terrified. The only thing I know about any of this world truly is that like it's illegal, or I've seen it on cops.
You're a child.
Yeah, and I'm very inexperienced. And so we pull over, and I'm in the passenger seat, and so he rolls my window down, and the woman comes up to the window, and totally fine, super nice, and she was older. She was much older, and I remember she had like some back missing molars, and she'd been on the street a while. It was a fine interaction. Where are you from? Asking me like how old I am, things like that. And I'm like, like frozen in fear kind of thing. And then we made our way. And it really stuck with me. And I remember at the time him being like, this is just a person who's going through something. And these are just people. And there's nothing here that makes them better or worse than anyone else. And you need to know that, and you need to like, he has, and I don't even think he would even self-register this or whatever, but he has like extraordinary empathy. And that kind of thing always stuck with me. And both in his, especially at the time, profound point of view on what we kind of consider like forgotten people of society or disowned people of society, but also that with the juxtaposition of like, maybe you shouldn't be taking a kid to these things. Then I started kind of thinking in a broader way about like how men teach lessons to boys, and how impressionable young people learn about the world through their elders, and how someone's worldview gets imprinted on you at a certain age, and you always keep that with you. And there's conflicting feelings about that. And sometimes you feel like, oh, that could have been handled better maybe.
Yeah.
And other times you feel really grateful for the experience. And so that is the cover of the record. It's a woman, she's at the window, there's clearly an uncomfortable boy in the seat, and then you just see the arm of the other figure.
And is that the lonely person with power? Is
Lonely People with Power, just the title I came up with earlier on. It was actually it's the earliest I've ever had an album title.
I didn't want to derail you from that story.
No, I mean that's the whole story, and I don't need to keep going on about it. But anyway, when I showed him that,
Did he remember?
Oh, clearly. Yeah. I mean, and it's funny too because his life now is so. I mean, this is a very long time ago. You know, it's so different. And
Did he struggle with addiction?
He did.
I
and
get that from your lyrics. I didn't mean earlier when I was like, it doesn't sound like you like him. It's like I can tell you harbor some resentment for maybe some of that was passed down to you.
Yeah, it's not even at this point. It's not even really. It's not resentment. It's just acknowledgement, and anything that comes off as being like damning or depressing or whatever, it's really just self-reflection.
Yeah,
and me trying to like kind of come to terms with why I am the way I am.
Yeah.
No, he's great, and even still, it's crazy. Like again, if you met him, you'd never guess this at all. He doesn't look like a hard guy.
Yeah,
you know, he's as straight laced as they come.
He's the third.
He's well for in the band. He's big three, and he. The other thing about him is he has seen more of our shows than anyone. He flies all over the world. And he is wearing a different Deafheaven shirt every day.
My dad is the same with like, he'll come to so many stray shows and he's always wearing a Downbeat.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And like, I feel extremely grateful. But he still does like outreach and man, he doesn't need to, you know, like guys that are like fresh out, who are in halfway house facilities or whatever, he goes to them and he meets with them. And he does the thing he's kind of always done. You know, he kind of shepherds people that are in need. So he's great. I love him to death. But you know, I mean, sometimes you gotta mine personal trauma for
money.
No,
I'm joking.
No, what I always tell that actually reminds me. Anytime someone asks what I do, I go, I yell at strangers for a living
until they buy a T-shirt.
Yeah. It's a glorified life. Yeah.
I'm glad I brought that up. I could tell there was something in there, and that's great to hear about the artwork.
Yeah, that's the most I've ever. It's the most I've ever explained it. Man.
Well, I appreciate you. And if for some reason after this you're like, I don't want that out there, I can cut it.
I think that's fine. There's nothing to be embarrassed about.
You didn't say any slurs.
No slurs. It's fine.
Yeah.
I bit my tongue.
It's a joke, guys. Jokes still exist. Fuck off. The last point on the father thing. Can you tell me if this lyric is about your father?
Yes.
And if so, well, I'll tell you what I think about it.
Sure.
There is a lyric on Winona, on Lonely People with Power. Mm-hmm. I'm reliving Saturn eating his flesh, everything of mine. You took it all and left me nothing, laid me in a hole for death to feed on. Mm-hmm. What's that about? Again,
it's the specter of addiction. That thing is alcoholism. That thing is depression. That thing is addiction. That has laid me in this hole. Obviously, the Saturn allusion is to the Goya painting, and again, it just touches on that. It's just it's the hereditary aspect of it.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, fuck, I love you. If you'd told me what you just did, and you did tell me, it's the best lyric of all time.
Oh man,
because it's so poetic, right?
Yeah.
But I understood everything you just told me about it from that lyric, like from the lyric. It takes a deep dive. You need to know the Goya painting. You need to know all that stuff. But I read it. And I'm like, man, this guy's going through something inherited from his father specifically.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Fucking love this guy. Anyway, that's the last. Dad bit's over. Fuck yeah. What a line. You ever seen the movie Snatch?
Of course.
Do you like dogs? Do you like dogs? There's a lot of dog lyrics.
Yeah.
That's me asking a question.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, you can tell my brain is slowing.
No, it's fine. It's a long day. You probably got 30 minutes. Don't worry.
No, seriously, no rush. Dogs. I do love dogs. I have a dog. She's never written about. You can't really write about a Shih Tzu. They don't work as well.
Wow.
As
Dobermans.
They don't work as well as Dobermans.
So what's the Doberman thing? Because you mentioned them maybe 3 times, including a song title.
Yeah, it was my grandparents' dog. My dad's parents had a big Doberman. Her name was Goldie. And originally I was going to call the song Goldie, but Doberman, the word
is cool.
It's a great word.
Yeah,
and it's very evocative. Yeah, that's kind of the long and short of it. It's a dog I grew up with who was like twice my size until a certain age. Very sweet, and just again, when I think a lot of the time when I'm writing about family stuff, it's born from looking through photos or just kind of being reminiscent or nostalgic, and she's in a lot of them, you know. So it's kind of become like this little piece of something I carry. Yeah.
What about Rottweiler? Just sounds good.
Yeah.
I can't remember the Rottweiler line. Got it written down. I got a Mombasa lyric. What a song. Love the fact that you just stuck in a blast beat at the end of the Light album. Just like everyone's like, oh, this is...
We should do it.
Yeah, we should
do it.
It's great.
Yeah.
Doberman visions, you're undressing, mute and bleary, hillside castles baking down to sand.
Yeah.
You want to go into that? This is like therapy. It's like a Rorschach.
Sure.
Reversed.
I was thinking about other different planes of existence. I was thinking about an idea of heaven or whatever. My grandfather lived with me for 2 years towards the end of his life, and I helped take care of him. And that song is about him, and just imagining him somewhere else, and I kind of wanted to paint a picture of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cute.
And he loved Goldie. So
Doberman visions.
He sees.
I hope everyone else is having a good time, because this is fun. I feel like I won a competition. Like I sit down with the guy and to be like, "What did you mean?" And then you tell me, I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah. I love that song. I mean, I really, really do. It's great to play. It has a blast beat. Thank God. You know.
Yeah, it's an amazing
Dan was
song.
so relieved. You know?
It's an amazing God, and then he on this record, I know it's not a damn podcast, but like Lonely People with Power, like he popped his pussy.
Dude,
on
I'm Dan's biggest fan.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
I'm like
unreal.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe everything prior was no click.
Dude, you want to talk about New Bermuda? Dude, track 2, Luna.
I've got a whole thing on Luna.
Single take.
Absolutely nuts. That makes it even better, because I got a whole thing about Luna.
I'm pretty sure it was the take to get levels.
Oh my God.
He did it all the way through. Jack Shirley, phenomenal producer, engineer, friend, was like, I don't know, like that might be it. And then Dan came in, and Dan, one of the best parts about Dan is when he knows something is right, he has unwavering confidence.
Yeah.
He's so like, doesn't think twice. You know, I'm over here like, you know, rolling in my grave. And he just went into the control room and he was like, yeah, sick. It's good. And I was like, dude, that's fucking crazy.
I love Dan so much, and I can see him just going, yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, like as mellow as can be. And he did it with stitches in his hand. He had cut his hand on accident like the night before, and we were gonna cancel recording and be like, you can't fucking drum. And he was like, I can do it. And he just, I mean, not only did he like wrecked it, and you know, and then this is the last thing I'll say about Dan, but with like Infinite Granite and Lonely People, I think also like his style really comes out.
Yeah.
He's a very stylish drummer.
Very, very stylish. Yeah. It's funny, the stitches in the hand thing. Again, I'm such a woo-woo person.
Yeah.
And everything's about me. Again, I'm possibly schizophrenic. the amount that this song, I'm like, no, this is about me. This is about me. They're watching me. Okay, so Luna on New Bermuda. Mm-hmm. It's probably, I think, emotionally, you know, when you got some songs that you say it's your favorite song of a band.
Sure.
But because of the emotional connection.
Sure.
And like, maybe even now I listen to it the least for that reason, because of the time. So whenever that song came out, I was going through it. Okay. I had an ex-partner who was my partner at that time. If people at home want to pause and read the lyrics to that song and then come back, or I'm sure we'll go into it. So my ex-partner, we had moved to where she was from because I was on tour a lot.
Yeah.
And I had found out something that she'd done. I didn't do anything about it, and I just kept it with me. And we moved to a place where I didn't know anyone, and it happened shortly after that. And it was middle of nowhere in a old house, and I harbored what had happened instead of addressing it, and gradually declined mentally because of it. Couldn't think, I thought I couldn't get out of the situation. I was just like locked in there. And we had, I'll get to that bit. So I was just in that world, probably the most depressed I've ever been in my life. I was like, what am I going to do? I'll just kill myself. I was like, I'm just going to do that. I'll figure out when to do it. And was just the most depressed I've ever been in my fucking life. I couldn't get away. I was stuck there. I became very ill as a result of what I now know is like, I just should have went to fucking therapy. I should have fucking dealt with it. But I came like physically ill to the point where I think at some point I had to, my parents lived like 4 hours away. I had to phone my mum and be like, hey, mum, bit weird. Pretty sure I'm going to kill myself tomorrow. Would you mind coming up to hang out with me? So for anyone that didn't read the lyrics to Luna, there's so many lyrics in it. I think that record came out at that time. Okay. And I was already a fan. But like another thing, so, and this is not like some patriarchy shit, but I don't want to go so personal, but like she did certain things around the house that were like, I would go on tour and I would come back and the house would be like disgusting. Okay. Like I'm talking mud everywhere. Okay. And dog shit. And it was like revolting. Yeah. And I'd come home from tour. You know what's up when you come home from tour? You've been in a scabby fucking tour bus for however long.
That's the worst.
I want to deep clean my fucking house. Absolutely. I need to be in somewhere clean.
Yes.
So I would come back and the first thing I'd have to do would be clean up literal mud and shit out of my own fucking house. Oh, I was insane. Got physically unwell because of it, and to the point I was convinced. I had some sinus problems at the time from how old the house was. Mm-hmm. There was damp and all this stuff. Totally, but it like fucked me, and I was just convinced I was dying. To the point of like borderline schizophrenic, like there's fucking things in my brain, like from these fumes. Like I was a nut, like absolutely a fucking nut job. And there were so many lyrics in that song that I was like, motherfucker, this song is about me. Like chained together, chained forever, confined to a house that never remains clean, like literally on the fucking nose. To a bed where the ill never get well. Like I was convinced that I was dying. I coughed ceaselessly into the night. I had a cough from the fucking sinus problems. Yeah. Sitting quietly in scorching, reimagined suburbia, right? Mm-hmm. Had moved out of the city into somewhere else. To top it all off, cherry on the top, the dog we had together was called Luna.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. To top that all off with what you just told me, at some point during that, the only thing that kept me happy was I had my drum room and I had the gym. And I would go to the gym, come home, go to the drum room, and I'd come back at like 10 p.m. and I'd just go to sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
I cut my hand open really badly and needed stitches and couldn't do either of those things. So when it was at the worst that it was possibly at, like I didn't even know that stitches down thing, and obviously this is me just being schizophrenic.
No.
But like,
it's all connecting, yeah.
It was at its worst then because I didn't have my 2 coping mechanisms, and it was just so on the nose. And I know it's not about that, but I'd like to know what the song is about.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is about that.
Oh, you were there.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, not to diminish it at all, but when I think about like times that I've written sort of immaturely or had sort of like a more shallow take on something, that song comes up to me.
Yeah.
I had just moved to Los Angeles. It's like a song about kind of hating where you live.
Yeah.
And for LA specifically, it took me like 3 or 4 years to really kind of find my place in it, I think. But yeah, and I'd come from San Francisco, which felt very urban and very much like a city, and people called LA a city, but this is just suburbia reimagined,
Yeah,
and
okay.
There's actually like one of my favorite lyrics, and it's like something talks over common interests or something like that. You know, it's just really cynical. It's about being at parties and about being bored and about everyone you meet you disliking and about coming home to a place that's disheveled, and my girlfriend at the time and I had moved in together, and
She didn't do the fucking dishes. It's a joke. It's a joke.
this is why I think it's shallow, or I find it to be immature, is because like I wasn't looking inward whatsoever, and I was, again, because this is New Bermuda times, I was a fucking animal.
Yeah.
And I was making myself sick, and it was that I was constantly, for different reasons, but I had constant sinus issues. Yeah. And my immune system was just depleted because I was just treating myself so poorly. And when you treat yourself poorly, you treat your space poorly. You have no or very little regard for anything around you. And I was disliking where I was so much that I think I was trying to prove that in a way through these actions, where I was like, no, like, fuck this place. You're going to see how much I don't like it. I'm going to treat everything like around me like shit. And then I'm going to be really like, I'm going to be kind of like, I don't know, I guess like arrogant about it or something. And that is Luna. Luna is like just a deep unhappiness that at the time was intentionally written to place blame on the things around me that were causing that unhappiness. And upon further reflection, as a real adult, I see now like, oh, like I had the biggest part to play in this.
Yeah.
And so, but to your point, it does have all those things, and those things are accurate. It's more that I think I was kind of the cause for all the pain, whereas maybe you were just unable to deal with receiving a similar pain. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah.
That's so eye-opening, and it hasn't ruined the song for me.
Okay, good.
Maybe I
Good.
was like cosmically co-writing with the hand stitches.
I mean, there's a lot. It's very serendipitous. Yeah, there's a lot of coincidence there.
Man, I just listened to it on repeat. I was so depressed.
Yeah, I mean, kind of same.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot on that record. A lot of on all of our records. That is very much like living through a kind of exorcism, you know, where like, yeah, I take it for pain as well.
How is your mental health? You all right?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm great. Yeah. I really am. Yeah, life's good. I'm very grateful for so much that I get to do.
Good. That's good to hear, especially because there hasn't been like a shift in your lyrics. I still think you're depressed.
Yeah,
lyrically,
sure.
It's exactly the same. It's not like you did James Hetfield.
Yeah, well, there has to be that. You know, this is funny, and this is actually an interesting thing to touch on. Is that Deafheaven has, at this point, we've been a band for 15 years. It has its own identity, and it has its own it has its own tenets of what makes it. And I think that I, to serve its purpose, go into a state that is required to write in a way like this. Like it just wouldn't be us.
Is that taxing though?
I talk about this with friends. I was actually talking about it with a friend recently. That it's not necessarily taxing, but it can feel a bit disembodied. It can, like, the things I'm talking about are real, and I really do feel them. But to know me from day to day is not to know the person that's written Deafheaven lyrics, and if it, you'd be like, this guy's fucking lame, frankly, or it'd be like your sad friend in the corner.
Yeah.
So they kind of, in the moment, they have their genuine moment. They're written from the heart, and then from there on, like upon release, they're not really for me anymore. Yeah. They're for whomever.
For me.
They're for you.
For
for real. Like, when I'm on stage, I don't go into that dark place. I more go into a place of connectivity or a place of connection with the audience, who is like really, really receiving these things in a real way. And so, like, I kind of, again, like talking about gratitude, like I these things transform for me, and what becomes these kind of dark places of thought are now this sort of emotional bond that really kind of, like, I don't know, makes the whole thing really worth doing, more than any other part of it.
You do talk about illness quite a lot as well, and I'm guessing in a quite an ambiguous way. Sometimes it feels like you're referring to a person as an illness. Is there any, like, let me give you an example before we do this. Living with this illness, showing shivering skin with you, my endless illness. Who's the endless illness?
That's depression. Yeah. That's
Oh, so that's quite literal.
It is.
I actually took it as a person, but again, I think I'm thinking about my ex again.
Yeah,
living with my endless illness.
Yeah. Well, that's good, but I want you to. I like. It's up to you to fill in the blanks, and I love that.
So, would you consider yourself still having depression
from day to day? No, I don't think so. But it's something that I have to work on. Yeah, I think it's like. I think, again, we go back to hereditary and lifelong and these kinds of terms, and like I think it's a facet of my personality that is very enduring. I think that there's always a potential for a quote lapse, to find myself feeling the ways that I used to feel all the time. Again, and writing songs like that is a reminder to myself that you're never quite out of the woods.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And you just gotta keep an eye on it. And that means, like, taking bad news with grace. That means,
how did you used to react to bad news? That's the second time you mentioned that.
Yeah, just like
drinking.
With morose, with just feeling with,
I mean, it's bad news, bro.
True. With no stoicism at all. Real, and especially drinking. Yeah, it'd be sloppy and sad.
Me yesterday.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, look, if you don't take it to the brink, if you don't take it to the very edge every time, which is something that I liked to do, it's a totally reasonable response. Yeah, I process things poorly. And whereas now, deep breaths go a long way. And, like, realizing, corny, but, like, don't sweat the small stuff and shit like that. And just, like, taking life with ease. Everything, when I was in my 20s, everything had so much weight to it.
Yeah.
And you couldn't see the future. I thought about suicide so much. I write about suicide a ton. On every record, there's a suicide song. There's always that feeling of like, I don't care about tomorrow. Yeah. And I think I'm just at the age, I'm far enough along now where I can, look into the past, that I know there is a future, but yeah, like but I don't want to run away completely. I think that those things should be acknowledged. I think that like, if I do believe that suicidal ideation or depression no longer exists, like that's when it's going to get me. Yeah. And so it's just part of the way I am, and I'm so much more like level-headed now and calm.
Is this because of not drinking or like hugely. Therapy hugely. Or meds?
Teach me. No. For me, it was stopping drinking and drugs, and it was being around people who did also, and learning from their sense of calm and learning from how they behave and react, and filling myself with that perspective. Whereas like, when you're partying and stuff and you're in your mid-20s and everyone around you is doing the same thing, like none of you fucking know what to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like everyone has their shit, and you think like this is all that life is. It's like crazy good highs and good times and then like deep lows. And when you kind of, get away from that, you see that like most people in the world navigate their highs and lows with a really calm sort of middle groundedness. And that was just huge for me.
I had like a weird, not positive, like I've dealt with suicidal ideation my whole life.
Sure. Yeah.
I've had quite a weird, like almost annoyingly more depressing experience once beating thinking of doing it so much, which is like my get out would always be if something was going like reacting to bad news, I would just go, oh, I'll just kill myself. Like, and it would give me a weird sense of relief. Like everything's not, it's fine. I'll just kill myself. So it doesn't matter. And then I wouldn't fixate on it. And now I don't want to kill myself. When something bad happens, my brain now doesn't go, oh, I'll just kill myself. It goes, well, you can't kill yourself. So, well, we're going to have to fucking figure this out.
And then man up about it.
And then now I get more pent up. Yeah. It's like, it's like I obviously don't want the ideation.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like, oh, great. Now I have to deal with this.
You got to find a solution. Yeah. And how fucking annoying is that, right? Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Dude, it's what like, I mean, you go to the gym. That was another huge part was fitness. I mean, like when I stopped drinking, I hover around like, usually I'm not in shape right now. In fact, thank God that we're on tour because tour is when I get in shape. But I usually, oh, absolutely. Oh, I dial it in. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Because like you can't be fucking burnt out on stage. Dude.
So you need calories for energy. I do the opposite. I dial it in kind of when I'm at home, and then when I'm on tour, I eat like disgusting.
Yeah, no, when I'm at home, I'm like, I'm relaxed, and like I like to go out to dinners and stuff like that, and I don't like to calorie count and what have you, like, but like on tour, I got a 90, 80, 90 minute set, and like I don't want to be like,
I'm the opposite though. Like when I'm on tour, if I don't have like 3,000-4,000 calories a day, like that set, I play badly because I don't have the energy.
But you're like a big dude too.
Yeah, but you're like 9 foot tall.
It's true. I am. I'm pushing 9 feet.
How much do you weigh?
Yeah, like I was gonna say, right now I'm at like 198.
Exactly.
I hover around
like,
2.
That's all height.
But typically I'm around like 185 to 195. I know it's only a few pounds, but you know what I mean. Like it counts. But anyway, but when I stopped drinking, I was like 220.
Yeah, but you're tall.
Yeah, but like when I look at old photos, I'm like, oh geez, and like on stage, I was just like out of breath and the whole thing. Anyway, my point is that was another thing that really was instrumental in like getting my head right is fitness.
Oh, if I don't go, it's literally my mental health medication.
It fucks with you, right? Yeah. It's the same thing. My girlfriend will be like, if I seem kind of bent, she'll be like, you should go to the gym.
Yeah.
And it's true.
It works 99.5% of the time.
Or I go for runs. I mean, that I got into that. That's funny. That's like a real big like sobriety thing is like hella people get into running. But I did.
Every single person I know.
Yeah.
Every single one.
And I get it because for me, when I first stopped, I remember thinking how my biggest anxiety was how am I going to sleep? It's what put me to sleep.
Yeah.
And we're talking like, especially on the road. I mean, it got to a point where we had to add to the rider. I'd have my own fifth of Jameson, and I do half before the set and half after, and it was like every single day. And there's so much sugar and shit like that. But like anyway, that's how I slept. And so I was like, I got to make myself tired, and
I'll go for a run.
I'll run miles,
and then you get a high after it,
and you feel great, and you're like, I just need to keep doing this, and it's a really good habit. Anyway, that's another thing. So I am sort of like you, where I'm like, oh no, I gotta find solutions for this now.
Fuck.
But that's a big one. Yeah, very helpful.
Heathen, the singing at the start.
Yeah.
Who is it?
The sample, you mean?
Is it it's a sample from something. I want to know.
It is, yeah. Fuck me. This is a question for Carrie. I can't remember. It's a French pop song from the 60s that he kind of like backmasked or slowed down or
enough to get away with it, or did you still need clearance?
We cleared it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah. No, I mean, we definitely did. I was just wondering like if you even needed to, but yes, I do believe that we did need to, and we did. That was so a really early idea for the record was to have a kind of DJ Shadow thing about it, where all the interludes were going to be like really sample heavy, and we were going to try and fit samples into all the clean sections and things like that. And we got a couple off. There's one in Body Behavior as well, but it's like anything else. Like the moment you have all these kind of preconceived notions of what something's going to be, and then you start working on it, and it ends up totally different. But yeah, that was the impetus for that. Was we're going to be in our DJ Shadow bag. Yeah.
Weirdly, the photo on the front, even though it's nothing like it, is kind of like introducing.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
that's a great album. If anyone doesn't know,
great album. And Carrie is. I mean, again, it is a question for him. He's tell
him I want him on as well. Like next time we roll through,
I will. Yeah, he's great to talk to. But we haven't really talked about Danny Filth.
About the new shit.
About all of it.
The thing.
About him. I think this is a thing that he is a huge influence. One of my, and I know that you rock with Cradle.
Yeah, big time.
Big time. And so do I.
Oh, are we talking about the current situation, or are we just going to talk about Danny Filth?
I just wanted to make a note that he is an all-time lyricist.
Oh, 100%.
Like he's in my top 3, like metal lyricists. It's the storytelling is insane. There's so much going on all the time. He's such a good vocalist.
I think his episode is maybe the last time I gassed up a guest this much.
Sick.
Yeah.
I'm in good company.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He is, again, more like a storyteller.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like Edgar Allan Poe level.
Yes, I learned... I would, when I was a kid, I would like look up the things that I didn't understand that he was talking about, like Gilles de Rais, the French serial killer who served under Joan of Arc and who like trapped children in his dungeon and all this shit. And like it's like pretty sure it's Lord Abortion. Midian is my favorite.
Midian's the one. Midian is the one.
Sick. I'm glad that we feel the same. Yeah, and I would just sit with lyric books and like anything I didn't get, I would look up and I'd be like, this guy is like crazy.
Yeah.
So sick.
Cruelty and the Beast, the remix.
Yeah.
Have you heard? Cruelty and the Beast is like up there for me, but then they remixed it recently. I'm not usually a one for remix.
You feeling it?
In fact, you did a remix as well, didn't you? Guess what? I don't listen to it. I listen to the OG.
The Sunday the remaster. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But the remix of Cruelty and the Beast is like what amazing. And I spoke to him about it, and I was like, I love the mix on Midian, but I would also take a remix of Midian. Then he was like, I don't think we got the master. But
Yeah.
I was thinking about Midian today, actually, because I watched an interview with Pinhead. I can't remember his name. The guy that does the talking at the beginning of Midian. Hellraiser.
Yeah.
He's fucking a Scouser. He's from Liverpool.
He's from Liverpool. Yeah. There's
I couldn't believe it. He's talking. He's like, yeah, fucking.
Yeah, there's this funny bit where I saw an interview with him, and the woman was like, what if Pinhead was from Liverpool? And he did like a bit.
Wait, so he's not from there? Maybe I watched the same video.
No. He is from there, but like he did Pinhead lines.
I watched the same video today.
Okay, great.
That's where this came from.
And it's pretty recent.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, and I had no fucking idea. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Because he's properly like, you're suffering. And then really, he's like, you're right, mate. It's fucking cool.
So fucking cool. Yeah.
You ever met Danny?
No, actually, you know what? I hate being this way. Not to have this whole thing be about like
the end of the podcast is about Cradle of Filth now, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah. If you don't like him, I don't know what to do about that. And I don't mean for this whole thing to be like when I used to party, but when I used to party, I was way better at meeting people like that.
Yeah.
Because I had no shame about going in someone's backstage, you know, and like being super obnoxious. And these days, I'm so tepid about it. But we were playing, oh God, I can't even remember now. It was a festival over the summer, like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks after I'd seen you. I caught the set, and it was them and Linkin Park. And those are the only two people playing. Yeah. And Linkin Park just had like basically everyone at Cradle of Filth was like a dedicated head.
Wait, was it that Polish festival?
I don't think so.
Was it Mystic?
No.
I think it must have been on this last circuit because we did whatever day at Mystic that both of those bands
Okay,
played,
okay. So I was like, I don't care about Linkin Park. I'm gonna go watch Cradle. And so like with a dedicated group of Cradle heads, I watched the set. Great set. Dan and I, you know, just like loving it. Dan's also the Cradle guy in our band. Everything had cleared out because they were the last two people playing in the night. And so Dan was like, I bet that if we just hang around enough, we'll be able to meet him. And we ended up meeting the guitar players, and we're kind of hanging with them, and very lovely. And that alone was great. But I was kind of trying to be like, okay, like, but where's Danny? You know what I mean? And he has a separate room. Yeah. Fuck, man. He could tell, you know? He could tell. We were just kind of like basically just hanging on, you know, kind of like walking in circles. Yeah. And like he would peek his head out, and I'd be like, oh, I'm still here. You know what I mean? And he, you know, I think was probably just like, fuck off.
He probably likes your band.
I think
if he doesn't know your band, he would love it.
I think he does. That's what we were told. And that's neither here nor there. I know what it's like sometimes to be off stage just at the end of the night, and you're like, look, I don't really have.
You got to take his makeup off. You don't think about that.
That's true.
Do you know what? I had an opposite experience because I did the podcast with him, and I had to pick him up. So I drove to the venue, and they were running late for sound check. And he's really so British. Like, I would say even more British than me.
Amazing.
Like,
I want that from him.
Oh my God, it was like a caricature. Because I've only ever seen him in character, really. I'd seen the odd interview. But get to the backstage, and then the TM's like, oh, this is Craig from the Downbeat. Like, they'll be doing the thing later. And he's like, oh, you're right, mate. You want a cup of tea? And I was like, I'm all right, thanks, Danny Filth. And then he's like, soundcheck's running a bit late, but if you can stay here or whatever, you can come back and pick me up or whatever. So I watched the soundcheck, nailed it in soundcheck.
Killer.
I ended up leaving because it went over a lot. Came back, picked him up, and then we get in traffic on the way to go to the podcast studio, and we're just talking about like his house. He's like, yeah, I'm moving. I was telling him I was moving to Nashville, and he was like, yeah, I'm moving, but I've got quite a lot of stuff. And I was like, what kind of stuff? He said, well, my house is kind of like a museum. And I was like, oh, okay, go on. And he just like telling me about all the mad stuff in his house.
I bet.
And he's like, I'm very particular. I'm moving in with my girlfriend. I'm very particular. Like I really have to check myself with, having someone with me. It was just really like just normal conversation. You are the Lord of Darkness in my head, and you're just like, offered me a cup of tea and all this stuff. It was super nice.
It's incredible. Yeah, no, I have no doubt. I'm sure he's very sweet. It was just a kind of awkward timing, but
I have heard the contrary though as well, which is why I was a little bit like apprehensive.
Oh,
like,
really?
Is this guy going to be a dick? Like growing up in London, you'd heard stories of like, but it's probably like someone drunk as fuck being like, daddy filth.
Yeah, he's like,
and then he's been a normal human to someone doing that, and then whatever.
Yeah. I get that. And you know what? Good for him, because I would have fucking punished him.
You were sober. You wouldn't have punished. You can't punish sober.
Yeah,
it's impossible.
But I would have for sure brought up like Cradle of Fear.
Yeah,
which I have.
You have it.
I have
VHS,
it on DVD.
On DVD.
Yeah. Well, because fuck me, the last track on Bittersweet to Succubi.
I'm not going to be able to reel that off the top of my head.
Well, it features the music video is them performing, and it's cut with Cradle of Fear.
Yeah.
So when I was like 13, because that was I didn't even know what black metal was.
Yep.
And I'd seen, and
it was gateway drug black metal.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, this is just like a crazy band. And I saw that, and I was like, I need to know what this other thing is.
Is that how you got into it? Seeing that video?
I got into it. So when I was young, you could, as part of like major cable packages, have MTVX included. And MTVX was a short-lived metal and rock focused, just 24 hours of music videos, MTV channel. It'd be like MTV, MTV2, and then whatever. This is before they had brought back Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
It was the only way you could see metal videos, and so I would just be up to like 3, 4 in the morning watching them. And Her Ghost in the Fog.
Yeah, that was the one for me
I was
as
like,
well.
I was like, this is so sick.
Yeah.
So, and I got Midian right afterward, and fucking Cthulhu Dawn and Saffron's Curse and the whole thing. I mean, I was just like obsessed with. And that same year, Bittersweet to Succubi came out, which is more of like a collection, not like a formal album. And
doesn't that also have some remixes on it? They do a thing where they remix a lot of the older stuff.
They will, stuff off like, because it has Black Goddess Rises Part 2, which I think like maybe was Black Goddess Rises off like Total Fucking Darkness or something. And then they do a Sisters of Mercy cover on there. It's just like, I'm pretty sure that's just kind of how it
I was like
developed.
Reversed engineered into black metal, which was massive Metallica head. Metallica did S&M.
Yeah.
It was the first time I'd heard metal with orchestras.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. I wonder if there's any other bands with metal with orchestras. And I went like, but. And then Dimmu Borgir pop up.
Yeah.
And then
huge
got
for
into
me.
that, and then Cradle.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, this is it.
Yeah. And I did theater as
Of course I
did. Yeah, of course. As a young person. And like I was obsessed with, and I guess still kind of am, with Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And so when I saw this, I was like, this is like metal Phantom of the Opera. And it still is.
What a score. Phantom of the Opera.
Oh.
So
I mean,
good.
I could, if it was on right now, I would know every word. It's hugely embarrassing.
It like reverse engineered my goth phase as well, because I kind of went from black metal to more goth music.
Me too.
Me
too.
It was not the other way around. Which
No. In fact, I remember when I first heard and saw The Cure, I was confused that they sounded like that. Which is so funny. I was like, but they're supposed to be scary.
supposed to be black metal.
Yeah. And it was the same thing.
like a reverse ghost.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa. I was like, well, this is kind of cool though.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an all-timer for me.
I had one more Cradle thing. Simon, cut. I really could talk about black. We didn't talk about black metal once.
No, it's good. It's good.
It's good that we didn't, or it's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
Well, it's good music, but it's
I mean, we won't. This is still a cut, Simon. We won't get into Danny's
his new
thing, which I like.
What a mess.
I'm on his side, to be honest with you, with it.
I certainly get and probably identify more with his side because like I am kind of the him of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
not the same practices.
This is all off the record.
Yeah, but like we have management, but I'm the manager.
Also, like, read your fucking contract.
Yes.
Don't sign it.
Yes.
Give it to a lawyer. That's literally everything you do.
It's very, very true. It's very true.
You think you could rank Cradle, top 5 Cradle for me? Or is that too much? Top 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm looking right now. Oh, no, actually, sorry. This is still a cut, Simon. The one thing I wanted to say. So, also what Cradle of Filth did to me, and I wonder if it did it to you, Cradle was how I got into H.P. Lovecraft. You ever read any Lovecraft?
I've read a little bit of Lovecraft, yeah. And yes, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
And I've been the same way.
Cthulhu Dawn, what's that?
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's so much about that band that is like that you can Google, to know more about like lyrically. It's so dense with like fun gothic tales.
I wish so much that I could do like a goth band or like but the thing is I would want to write the lyrics, but I can't sing. Can't sing at all. Yeah. I could maybe pop out a Pete Steele. Like super.
You just gotta bellow. Yes.
Forgive her.
You
so
have
I absolutely looked slutty at Madison there. She's dressed for the part. And
you've got it.
Typo I got into so late as well. I was already into my black metal, and then he died, and I bought the Kerrang magazine that came out after he died, and I was like, I guess I'll check this out. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Too late.
It's There are still like friends of mine that I will occasionally try to like who aren't converts, who I'll be like, no, like
of Typo.
Yeah. Like you have to listen,
It's
you have to
love or hate.
understand the context in which it's, in which it's being made.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, like it's just this kind of band doing this or whatever, because it is such a unique sound, and you can approach it from all these different
If you get the
ways.
wrong first song for the person, they're never gonna give another one. Like the typo's so all over the place. If you get the wrong first lyric, people can just be like, nope.
Yeah. I mean, like what I always tell people is, I'm like, look, if you like, and this is maybe crazy, but if you like Jesus like Silver EP, you know what I mean, like, and you don't like Typo, like, there's a connection here you're missing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like because like it travels in that way. I think. It's great tunes, but ranking my Cradle though.
Yeah, you could rank your Cradle. If you can.
Midian's my number 1. Dusk in Her Embrace is my number 2.
It's your number 2.
Yeah, I really love it. Yeah, Malice Through the Looking Glass. That's the other thing, is the puns.
Yeah.
There's no one better.
Yeah,
and
it's the British. It's the British.
Totally.
Yeah,
and it's fun.
Yeah,
so
many.
There's so many.
Nymphetamine. Nymphetamine
Yes.
might be the fucking best.
Yes.
I mean, Nymphetamine's maybe is my number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, I like that.
And the video, the viral video of the 2 girls singing Nymphetamine.
I don't know
Fix.
this.
Oh my god, you must have seen it.
I need to see it.
There's 2 Madison, do you know the video I'm talking about? It's 2 girls and they're going, oh, Nymphetamine, It's just these 2 girls.
And it's a cappella?
It's like, but it's like a meme. Because it's like not great, but
yeah.
it lives in my head fucking rent free every time.
That's the first thing I'm looking at when we leave.
Gilded C word.
I know.
It's the only word I can't say on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. I got demonetized for it twice.
Really?
Twice, because it was like hate speech against women. I was like,
Wow.
the gilded is actually more hate speech.
Yeah, well, people don't know their history. That's so American pilled. You know?
It really is.
It really is. Yeah, it's discrimination.
I've got friends that still hate that word. I mean, I get it in America as a booksman, right?
No one even says it in America. That's what like you never heard that growing up.
But that's what I mean. So maybe that's why I get it. But also, if you go to the Merriam-Webster,
Yeah.
Is that your one? Dictionary, right? And Oxford is ours. And you look up the C word. Ours, I think, number one is vulgar slang for an idiot.
Okay.
And yours is vulgar slang for a woman's genitals.
Yeah.
So, the papers are actually correct in doing this.
Okay.
But let's take the word back.
Let's take it back.
People have taken it back. I can't even say it. I just want to say it. So let's just stop. I've been really good at not saying it.
Yeah, people do. It's considered like it's serving.
It's serving.
Yeah.
It's
It is serving.
Yeah.
Period.
And good on them. That's what I say.
You haven't finished ranking. Finish it and we're done.
Cruelty and the Beast.
Yeah. Have you done the remix?
I haven't.
Bro, it's
I
good.
usually don't go into remixes.
And guess what it's called? Cruelty and the Beast Remistressed.
Fuck yeah, it is.
It's not remix, it's remistressed.
This is
honestly,
chef's kiss.
I hate a remix. I hate it, especially if it's something that was like formative for me. But Cruelty and the Beast never sat that well with me because it was quite lo-fi recording, which is normally I like. I like a lot of shit.
But there's good and there's bad versions.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
It was like it had enough digital on it that it was like, it doesn't sound like it's recorded in one microphone in a church band. It's like all over the shop. But then they remixed it with Scott Adkins that did it in the first place, who did the latest Cradle record as well, which also rips.
Yeah.
And it's so sick. But I think I don't even know. They did remix it. I was going to say, I think they re-recorded it, but that was one of the like collection things. They like re-recorded songs. Do yourself a favor. Cruelty and the Beast Remistressed.
I will do that. And I want to just a quick add. I think that if they could, I would like them to remix Damnation in a Day.
Yes.
Which I'm a Damnation head.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not really celebrated in their catalog. But they signed to Sony. It was the first time that they got a full orchestra to do the orchestral parts. The video for So Glad for the Madness, dude, it is top 3 videos. It's their actual best music video.
That's that Sony money.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to know
So good.
if they got. You ever hear the Carcass story about Sony? I'm pretty sure it was Sony.
No.
So this is. Well, it's fine. It's fine.
We're going way over.
Yeah, but it's fine. So I think it was Sony, maybe it was Warner, but like just before Heartwork came out. Let's say Sony for sake of argument or whatever. Yeah. Heartwork's gonna come out. Well, like it hasn't been recorded yet, but death metal's big. Chris Barnes, like 91, 92,
great time.
Cannibal Corpse, and Sony's like, oh, death metal is gonna be the next big thing. So they offer Carcass, and then my figures might be wrong, but they offer Carcass £1 million for a record. Because this is the day in CDs where the labels just had blank checks.
They'll make it back, yeah.
They record Heartwork. It doesn't cost $1 million.
Of course.
And then Sony, in the time it takes to record it, Sony goes, they're not really sure if death metal is going to be that big. You could just keep the masters, keep the money.
Really?
And then they put that money in investments, which apparently they still live off.
What?
And then Earache signed them for $300,000 for Heartwork, which was already recorded, so they didn't have to do anything for that.
They just stacked it.
So they just stacked all that. And then it's like the great,
that's fucking
the great
awesome.
Unknown.
That's fucking awesome.
Right, and it might just be an urban myth.
Even if it is, it's a great urban myth, and one I would gladly accept if I were Carcass.
It's like the great grindcore like rock and roll swindle.
That's so fucking cool.
And the rumor is that they invested all that very cleverly, and now they could just live off it.
That's amazing. God, good for them. That's why,
it might have been a dream, but I'm pretty sure that's real.
I accept it. I think it's great.
Me too. We're over time.
Okay.
There's no two truths and a lie. Thank you for coming on. Make sure you check out Deafheaven in the UK and Europe, and maybe the tail end of the US tour if that's still going on by this point.
Cool.
Check out Lonely People with Power. Check out everything. If you've got this far, you know that I'm gassing it up because it's fucking sick. So just check everything out. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Nice one.